In our last episode, we untied the lines and headed out, and it was so nice to be back in the boat heading south. We had a very fast passage down Winya Bay, and it was really actually a lot of fun. I was very relieved that the waves were not forecasted correctly. We also pulled over to the side and dropped anchor to wait for the tide to come up. In this episode, we deal with some real challenges. As we entered into this little docking area, we saw that the boats were pretty much lined up right next to each other. And there was this very, very small space. I didn't know if I should turn around and go out, but there was nowhere else to stay, and it was freezing out, and they asked us to come right in, straight in, bow first. They just fit us right in there. Very tight, too tight, in my opinion. They packed us in on this face dock really tight between two boats. Elliott Cut is a notoriously thin stretch of the ICW that connects Charleston with the more southerly route, and it is a very fast current. At times it can be 5 knots, and what happens is sailboats who have less power than a strong motorboat can, really lose control, and so you have to time it just right, and sometimes the sailboats do lose control and crash into the bridge, waiting for the bridge. Normally you can put the boat in reverse and kind of, maneuver around, waiting and holding the boat, slowing down the boat, which is another kind of a docking type technique or a helming technique. But with a current that's 5 knots and a typical sailboat, it's easy to lose control. So the key is you have to go through at slack tide. Slack tide is when there is no current whatsoever. It's only a 3-mile stretch, and although slack tide doesn't last that long, it's really the only way to go through there. So that's why we had to go through at slack tide. And we had 2 challenges. The first one was the stress of getting off that face dock and being upset about why we got in that situation in the first place. And number 2 was being able to get to Elliott Cut. We had to time it, which meant that we were going to be going in the dark, pitch black, no lights, in a remote wilderness area of the ICW, and it was going to be a couple of hours of darkness. So we sat down to have a talk.
So, Vin and I don't like parallel parking a car, and I don't do it well, and I don't like it. It always makes me anxious. So dealing with this kind of situation with the boat is just pretty upsetting for me. And, at the end of a long day, and it's freezing cold out, and we're really tight in here. We're tighter in here than we were in other places where we had to, do this. And I just feel, no joke, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed and not okay about it.
Well, I just want to let you know that I understand that we're tired and you're stressing, but I am going to be able to back us out of this slip. I did it before at Atlantic Out Basin. It's just a technique I need to brush up and do a little reading from my docking book. And if I remember properly, I just have to turn the wheel to the right or the left and put it in.
The right or the left, yeah, that's like a big difference,
Well, that's why I'm going to read about it first to refresh my memory. But all you have to do is you're going to stand up at the bow. We're going to untie the stern line and the spring line, and we're going to double the bow line on the starboard, and we're going to take it off of the bow cleat on the dock and bring it to the middle cleat on the pier. Okay, so you're going to be totally in control of the boat. You're going to be holding us, and I'll do my maneuver, my technique, and as my stern goes out, we'll pull out, and then you can release one end of the doubled line and pull in the line, and we'll be fine to go. That's not going to be a problem. I think it's going to be fine, okay? Because I'm not going to go and wake that guy up at 4 o'clock in the morning to help us to get off the dock. I already
just don't want to crash into the boats or anything.
Well, you know what? You're not going to be. I'll be at the helm. All you have to do is hold the line. I'll tell you exactly what to do, and I'll guide you, and you don't have to worry, okay?
I was more confident that we could get off the dock because of my Tom Tercey book. What I was anxious about, and Amy wasn't as anxious about, was traveling in the dark. I had lots of fears as we were moving forward in the dark. I was thinking about, what if I snared a crab pot and lost my steering? What if the light from the iPod went out? It was kind of like a pilot, you know, flying with instruments only. I couldn't see anything. It was all pitch black. And then, of course, once in a while I would see like a green or red light that Amy would shine her light on it. I was never more happy when the sun rose.
I am so impressed. He did it just right. We were able to get off the dock perfectly. Vinny did the technique like the book, perfect. So it was amazing. It was so good to watch and be a part of, because he was really calm, which I needed because I was really stressed out. We got off so safely and he was really calm and helped me to do what I was supposed to do. He's awesome, because I just did not see how we could move that boat out of that tiny spot.